We'll call this meeting to order at 10:20 a.m. Let's see. Councilman Weston, can you give us a morning prayer?
Good morning, everyone. Day two. Tunkashila, today we ask for your continuing guidance. We ask for all the people out there on our reservation, the ones that are troubled, the ones that are having difficulties. We ask that you bless them, watch over them, protect them. And we ask for your continual guidance here in this circle. And we ask your blessing for each and every one of our families, everybody that's going through a hard time. We ask that you bless the graduates that are coming up, the high school, the grade schools, all the young ones with all the fresh minds. We ask that you watch over us in our decision making here in the circle.
Open up. Okay, so Councilman Little, can you give us some words of encouragement?
Morning, everyone. Yesterday was a long day. It was a tough day. Today, let's have a good day today. For all the listeners out there, good morning. Nice, beautiful day out there this morning. Birds were chirping, grass was green. On that note, everybody have a good day. Be safe.
All right, thank you. Secretary, roll call.
Good morning, everyone. Jeremy Rosales.
Here.
Garfield Still. Richard Greenwald Sr.
Here.
Troy Little.
Here.
Norman Standing Soldier.
Here.
David Puyer. Jillian Spotted Bear.
Present.
David Kelly.
Present.
Lyle Weston.
Present.
Jackie Sears.
Here.
Steve Randall.
Here.
Donroy Gosbear. Anna Halverson. Present. Blaine Little Thunder.
Here.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Here.
George Dreamer Jr.
Present.
Bo Little White Man. James Cross. Ryan Jumping Eagle Sr. is excused. Tyler Lunderman will be late. Craig Dillon.
$16 present, 1 absent, 3 late, 1 excuse. We established quorum. Okay, so with that, we're gonna continue on from where we left off yesterday. We left off with the president's office. So also late afternoon, I guess, it was brought to our attention about a complaint here. I'll let Secretary explain.
Before we recessed yesterday, I explained the situation regarding a complaint that was submitted back in March, and that the legal department did their investigation and they sent back their response yesterday afternoon. And I did provide that to you through email last night. And a couple of you took them hard copies, so that is before you. And so I usually what happens is when we get their response, then tribal council will review and then take action regarding the complaint. And a hard copy, let me know, I made some too, so.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I read the complaint last night in its entirety. And according to the findings of the legal office, the chief of staff followed the policies and procedures of the Oglala Sioux tribe to a T. So based on that information, I motion to dismiss this complaint.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Greenwald, second by Councilman Randall. Go ahead, question.
I just had a comment, Chair. Thank you. One of the things that she was worried about was retaliation in this deal. And after his motion, I would like to make another motion that no retaliation be had from the chief of staff, you know, because that was put in the complaint too. So I'd like to entertain that motion.
Okay. Councilman?
Chair, I think at some point we need to have the chief of staff come in and do a report too. What can happen in a case like this is preemptive things come out and in knowledge in the back of your mind that you might be getting in trouble for some other things. And so you're going to do something like this. So that way that when that does have to come out where the action needs to take, oh, I see, it's retaliation. No, we need to hear from the chief of staff on some stuff, his report on some of the stuff that's going on. But if we're going to tie his hands like that, I mean, he still has to be able to direct somebody if they're not doing like the things we heard yesterday. People were not doing their monthly reports, their quarterly reports. They weren't turning in, and these are some of the directors, not all of them, but some of them weren't. But to do that and then say, okay, anybody could say, well, that's retaliation now because I filed a complaint. You know, and right here it states he's followed his policies and procedures. And as long as he does that, we can't just assume that it's retaliation if he has to take action of anything, you know. So I just wanted to share that, but I think he needs to come and give you a report of all the stuff that he's worked on so far for the tribe. So
Yeah.
one of the things is the travel. This whole thing is about travel when I read it. We ordered by council action that there would be no off-reservation travel. And so that was a council action. What is happening now is that individual is allowed to go to a committee and a committee person could say, hey, we want her at this meeting. And then she gets to go, overriding a tribal council action. Now, isn't that a violation? If a committee person can override the order of a tribal council, if we don't want this ban on travel, then let's get rid of the ban. But let's not allow certain employees to come into our circle and bypass all the rules that we set in place. Otherwise, get rid of it. You know, just wanted to share that.
Okay. Councilman Kelly?
Hey, good morning, everybody. You know, I also have read, you know, all the documents, and actually I didn't from the attorney until just now. But, you know, that also brings up some questions, you know, because when we were approving this Travel Quest contract at the time, Mr. Patton came down here in one of the committee meetings and told us they didn't have a valid business license during roughly this time frame. So, you know, after reading that contract, and I got a copy here somewhere, I should have uploaded it to my computer, but I didn't. You know, that I read a portion in there where Travel Quest states in there that a percentage of the sales would come back to the Oglala Sioux tribe. You know, and my question being, doesn't that violate the anti-kickback law? Because most of our funds are federal dollars. I understand Ms. Two Lance wants to be reimbursed for some travel. And, you know, to a certain degree, I do agree that the process wasn't followed, but inevitably, if this Dakota Quest wasn't a valid business within the Oglala Sioux tribe, and therefore she was forced to use Dakota travel as an alternative method, which we've been using for quite some time, I think she should be allowed to receive a reimbursement. So, you know, I read these contracts that you guys bring forth, and some of them I don't agree with, but others are, you know, legit. And once again, I'm going to bring up the fact that in part of our documents yesterday, we received an opinion from Mr. Gonzalez, which outlined his letterhead, his home address, his home phone numbers, his office phone numbers, his street address. That to me is a legal opinion. What's given here, coming from the legal department, I still can't accept as a legal opinion, because if this thing ends up in some court, some federal court, it's our word against the attorney's word, which I can't agree with. You know, Judge, I don't recall is going to be what is said. And we have no way to prove that. So, you know, we task, and actually I sit on TBEC, a national committee that deals with a lot of the federal funding. And it was this council that appointed Courtney to sit on there also. I'd prefer to have one of our own sitting at that level, fighting on behalf of, you know, the Great Plains tribes and large land-based tribes for federal funding, than to have somebody from a small California tribe. So yeah, we did appoint her. And sometimes we do direct them to go to these meetings because of the urgency, and I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. You know, hell, I'm still asking questions about the health care. You know, we had a brief discussion about it yesterday, and we got like 4 or 5 entities, and I don't understand any of them. All I know is we need a center for these guys that go to rehab to come back and get some aftercare, which we don't have. So yeah, I read the documents, and I do agree, you know, with Mrs. Two Lance. Actually, she should be here presenting this. I think we should afford her at least that opportunity, but with that, I'll just reserve. Thank you.
I had a question on this document, and I don't know if we should be discussing the details of the complaint. Yes. So I had a question, but we might have to go into executive. So I think we'll go ahead and go into executive just to resolve this. Secretary, we'll go into executive at 10:34. Or can we get a motion to go into executive? Motion by Councilwoman Little Hawk Weston, second by Councilman Rosales. Call for the vote.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Jillian Spotted Bear,
Because it's personnel, yes.
James Cross? Beef Randall?
No.
Richard Greenwald Senior?
Yeah.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston? Bo Little White Man? Anna Halverson?
Yes.
Troy Little?
Yes.
Norman Standing Soldier?
Yes.
Garfield Still? David Poyer? Blaine Little Thunder?
Yes.
David Kelly?
No.
Jeremy Rosales?
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.?
Yes.
Lyle Weston? Craig Dillon?
Fourteen yes, 3 no, 1 not voting, motion carried. So we'll go into executive at 10:36. Okay, we'll try to make this short and sweet, but from my end, okay.